Hello gorgeous, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. If you're new, it means so much if you guys click that subscribe button to join my YouTube family. I do post every single Tuesday and Thursday. Definitely grab a snack, grab a drink. This is going to be a chit chat video, kind of like an update slash Q&A video. I did go ahead and ask you guys on my community tab on my YouTube page and as well as on my Instagram, which is just at NicolettaXOYT, to ask me any questions that you guys have. Thumbs up if you guys like these kind of more chitty chat, rambly life videos. I did want to do a whole video around girl talk Q&A questions. So if you guys have any questions surrounding like girl topics, whether that's about anything in life, let me know by leaving a question down below, because I will definitely use some of those in an upcoming girl TMI kind of like Q&A video. That being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and start with some of the questions and just kind of, we're gonna go off from there and see where it takes us. The first question I'm going to answer is, hardest thing about wedding planning: how is engaged life different than dating? 5-year plan. Will you be hosting Christmas in your new place? And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And Merry Christmas to you as well and a Happy New Year. Definitely a bunch of questions in that question, so I'm just going to try and go quickly and answer all of them, starting with hardest thing about wedding planning. I definitely wouldn't say the hardest thing has anything to do with planning, but I have to say the hardest thing that's come out of this wedding whole thing is the drama. There's been some people I've heard now talk about the drama that comes out of theirs, and I feel like thank you, because I'm not alone. But after getting engaged, a lot of drama happened in my life. A lot of people were cut out of my life and a lot of things changed. I realized that some people just really don't care about you, and it takes like big things happening in your life, whether it's hardships in your life or even successes or just doing well in life. It takes either or to realize who's there, because you want people that are gonna be there for you for your hardships, but also things that go well in your life and your successes or just happy times in your life. Those times really just show you who's there for you. And I never realized that before, and just realizing who I need to separate myself with, and just also realizing the ones that have put the effort and the care to show you how much they're happy for you and just how much they care. I realized a lot when it comes to that, and I'm so thankful now for that, because at first I was just struggling with it, and I was always like trying to get people to care or forcing someone to care, and you can't force someone to care about you. If they don't care, they don't care. Like, they're not going to change. It's how they are, and that was a really hard pill to swallow, but I've totally gotten there where I couldn't care less. I care about the ones that have shown me during this process how much they care, just the people that have been there for me throughout my life when it comes to hardships and good things and all of that. Life's a roller coaster, and it's the ride and dies that are gonna stay there and stick with you through all of it. And I realized that's what's most important to surround yourself with, and it's the ones that you can get through hard things with as well. That is important to surround yourself with those people, because I realized surrounding myself with negativity or people that just aren't, that are always complaining, or they're doing nothing with their life, or they're just miserable, it just puts you in a miserable mindset. And I definitely feed off people's auras or feed off people's energy, and I never realized that about me, but I really do. If someone's always miserable, I'm gonna be miserable. If someone's happy, it always gets me like excited and happy. And I have to say, I am definitely not the event planner type of person. I feel like some women thrive when wedding planning comes along and they love every second of it. But for me personally, if I could choose an option to just show up and someone just does it all for me and I don't have to do anything but show up on the day, I would choose that option. I'm definitely not into planning. I just can't wait for the actual day. There's so much that goes into wedding planning that you don't realize, and it's so stressful, and it's also a lot of money that goes into one day. So speaking of wedding planning, I did actually find my wedding dress. I did do a wedding dress experience over on my Patreon. So if you guys do want to check out my Patreon, it'll be linked down below. I basically do a ton of story times on there and just more like raw, real things that happen in my life, kind of like the story times I was posting on my channel. I have a ton now over on there, so I totally recommend checking it out. There's some crazy, juicy, long story times. I thought the wedding dress process was gonna be a lot more stressful, but that's been went pretty smoothly, and I'm so excited to get my dress and have it all altered. So I really love how it looks, and I can't can't wait for you guys to see the dress. How is engaged life different than dating? I feel like engaged life isn't too different. However, my fiance and I did take this big step of moving in together. So that's like the biggest difference. We did purchase our first home, and honestly, if there wasn't this whole pandemic, we would most likely been already married by now, but the process of getting married has just been slowed because of the pandemic. I did get engaged in 2020, and I just didn't start the planning process for a long time because I just didn't think there was a point. I knew people that their wedding got pushed like 5 times and they lost a bunch of money, and it just was not worth it. But we did move into our house. We bought this house and it was being built all of 2020, so we moved in. So that's probably the biggest change. But actually being engaged, I feel like you just pretty much have a ring. My 5-year plan is definitely to start a family. I want to have kids in the next 5 years. Hopefully that is what the plan is, and I'm super excited to start my own family. What's been the hardest part of your career so far? I think that's a really good question. Having YouTube as my career is such a different thing still. It's definitely becoming so much more normalized. Like, I always hear now some of the younger kids' top dream jobs are to become YouTubers or like content creators, which is mind-blowing because I didn't even know what that was when I was growing up. And it's definitely become more socially acceptable in a way. Like, it's just not as different than when I started doing YouTube 9 years ago. Everyone was just like, what the heck are you doing with your life? Like, what is this, weirdo? If you asked me back then, I probably would say the hardest part, just getting like negative hate comments, talking a lot about your appearance, your looks, or just anything nitpicking about you was definitely really hard to learn to deal with because it was just something that was foreign and I wasn't used to. Growing up and just kind of maturing and being more secure with who I am as a person, I realized that that stuff just doesn't bother me. I don't care what people write. I'm so used to it too. And I just feel like anyone that's on any platform when it comes to content creating has to kind of have a thick skin with that, because you have to be used to it, because no matter who you are, what you do, you will always get those comments. Just letting that affect you can consume you, and it's just not worth it. So I definitely wouldn't say that bothers me at all anymore. But I do think the hardest part is just rejection and being hard on myself. I feel like YouTube's always up and down. You can't really control it, how you're doing, no matter how much effort you put in, and that can be really difficult. And also I feel like being rejected by even like companies. There were so many times where a company would reach out to me, like not vice versa. They would reach out to me wanting to work with me, and they would ask for my rates, and then you would give your rates, and then they would kind of talk down upon you, be like, well, you don't get a lot of views, or you don't have this many subscribers, and you're not like this. Meanwhile, the company reached out to me, and then they're kind of talking down upon me, yet they still want to work with me. So that kind of stuff like can really bother you. Or if you're really looking forward to working with someone and just being rejected by people, by companies, or just also yourself not feeling good enough, because sometimes you can get in your head and think that you're not doing good enough because you're not getting enough views, or this person's doing better. You can really start comparing yourself, and I've always been a really hard person on myself. I've always been that type of person where I put a lot of pressure on myself, and no one puts pressure but me. And I've had to learn how to deal with that, because it was really difficult for me for a long time, and I've always been this type of person, not even just on YouTube, just with myself, with everything, where it doesn't matter what I do, I still never give myself that credit. I still feel like it's never good enough. I put these unrealistic expectations on myself, and sometimes it stresses me out if I don't achieve it, or if I don't do it. And some things are just out of my control. If anyone's like me, let me know, because this is something I really had to learn in 2021 especially, is to be a little easier on myself, because I definitely was very hard on myself for a long time. So I'd say that's probably the hardest part. But to be completely honest, YouTube has been such a blessing in my life, and just is such a big part of my life. And if I didn't have YouTube in my life would be completely different. So I will always be so blessed and thankful for this platform and how much it has given and provided to me over the years. YouTube will always be a part of my life story, and something that I will always be grateful for. Let's see, next question. How was your uni life overall? Did you get into any kinds of trouble during your university time? What is the most wildest thing you have done in your life? Woo! that is a good one. I don't think I got really in trouble per se, but I was definitely a little bit of a wild child. It was definitely the most fun in my life. I feel like my best friends can attest to this. We always like look back at this moment in our life with fondness, and we just had the best time ever. It was crazy because high school was such a horrible experience for me, and within those 4 years, and I remember being back there as young teenager Nicoletta and just thinking this is the worst thing of my life and it's gonna be like this forever. I used to not even want to go to school some days because I was had so much nerves. It was just horrible having to deal with mean girls and just all that petty drama. It gave me severe anxiety. It gave me depression. I felt like it was the end of the world. But going into university was crazy because it was the complete opposite. It was the best 4 years of my life. I was so happy. I finally felt like I could be myself and become the person that I knew I was meant to be, and just kind of have the time of my life, because I had zero fun in those 4 years. Like, it was just horrible. If I could specify horrible, it was horrible. I finally felt like I fit in somewhere. In university, everyone was pretty open. Everyone just kind of wanted to become friends, and I met so many groups of friends. And not only did my high school best friend end up going to the same university, which wasn't even planned, I met my other best friend, Jessica, who I post always on my Instagram. We met literally like the first day of university, and we have been inseparable ever since. She is like a sister to me, and we have grown so much together over the years, and she is also now my maid of honor. One of the wildest times that sticks out to me is like a random day. It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday. I feel like more it was Wednesday night, and one of my best friends decided to go out that night because it was her birthday, and her birthday landed on a random weekday. But we were just like, we want to go out to actually celebrate on the actual day, even though she did have a birthday party coming up on that weekend. But it was just her and I, and we're like, let's just go out and celebrate the day of. So we went to some random place that we've never really been to, and we get there, and there's actually like all of the Toronto Raptors, like so many of them were at this place, which we had no idea about. And to be honest, at the time in university, I did not keep up with any sports. I did not know who was who. I didn't know any of the Raptors players at the time. During that time frame, because I just never watched it. I knew they were from the Toronto Raptors because they're all so tall and your girl is short. It's a big gap. After that, we all hung out with the Toronto Raptors, and my friend ended up dating one of them, which was so crazy. That whole night was just bizarre. And I do have a story time about that, so I'll link it up above. You can hear it's very crazy, and just, I don't even know what our lives were. I think that is one of the wildest and craziest times, but honestly, also just going on all of my trips with my best friend Jessica. We traveled to so many places after university. We went to Barcelona, Spain for a grad trip. Then we went to Las Vegas. We went to Greece together. We went to the Dominican Republic. And I have to say that Europeans, I really feel like you guys know how to party. Las Vegas is always the best time. I've been there now 3 times, and I'm hoping one day I can go back. That's always a fun time. But I have to say, Europe's nightlife is insane. It's wild. I could totally do some story times maybe if you guys are interested. I don't know if anyone would be. Maybe I can also share on my Patreon, because I do have a ton of my story times on there, like I said. My best friend and I, at the time, we look back and we're just literally in shock on how we've survived in life. We thought we were invincible, I feel like, and I feel like we thought nothing bad could happen. Now I definitely look back and I'm like, thank God we made it out alive. My next question is, how was your first year of home owning been? Honestly, it has been amazing. It has definitely had its hardships, which I'll talk about, but you guys didn't know I moved into this house last year in December, right before Christmas. It's been like exactly a year, and it's been amazing. I've loved being a homeowner. I am obsessed with this home and just making it into my own little home and like decorating it. It's been such a fun process. Being a homeowner definitely comes with its responsibilities. I never knew how much went into it. We did buy a new build house, so we had to do everything. We had to make sure we bought our own blind coverings. So for the first like month or two, we had no blinds and it was so awkward. I remember like running from the windows so my neighbors wouldn't see me. And you have to buy your garage openers, you have to buy your air conditioning and all of that kind of stuff, which if you just buy, you know, a used home, not a new build, obviously all that stuff comes with it. So I definitely had to learn a lot about that kind of stuff and what goes into the home, and also finances when it comes to the home, because owning a home is real expensive, especially here in Toronto. It is crazy. The prices here are, first off to start, are insane. And as well as just like owning a home is so expensive. You have to really learn how to budget and how to be smart when it comes to your finances. But that stuff is like so interesting to me. I am such a geek when it comes to finances. I swear I feel like finances could have been a career path I could have done. But it's been amazing just to have my own space, and you know, this is like a big next step in my life. This is going to hopefully be, you know, the home to my future family, and I'm just so excited to start with that process. I've been having so much fun just like decorating the place, although it's been a very slow process. Half my house is still empty. I swear things are just so expensive, and I'm also very picky. And with all the lockdowns too, there was a lot of delays. I didn't get my couch for like 4 months. I swear it was like 4 or 5 months. Same with my kitchen table. It's been a mess, but it's slowly but surely finally coming together, and I'm just so proud. It's my dream house. I could not ask for anything better, and I'm such a homebody, so I love it. Some of the questions were repeat questions, which I've done so many Q&As now, but that's pretty much what's been going on. It is almost the new year, so 2022, and I'm actually so excited for 2022, even though it is still very stressful, our world that we're living in. Life is just different, and we've been waiting for life to go back to normal, and at this point, it's taking a lot longer than most of us thought. But I am still excited for 2022 because I feel like in 2020 and 2021, I really lost myself. I finally feel like I'm getting back to myself and normalcy and just being happy and doing the things that make me excited. I feel like a lot of us lost ourselves during this whole process of what went on in 2020 and 2021 and all that. But I realized that sometimes you need to put yourself first. You need to still do things that make you feel good and make you feel happy, and don't put yourself on the back burner, because I did do that a lot when it came to my mental health, my fitness, just everything, and it was just a really hard time. I'm really excited to start fresh and get back and start in 2022 and continue on with my fitness goals and just taking care of myself again, and also focusing on the relationships that matter in my life and not the people that just kind of make me feel down, bring me down, or just bring a lot of drama or toxicity. So that is all for my chit chat / Q&A video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I had so much fun just sitting here and talking to you guys. Honestly, I love these videos, just being able to have conversations with you guys and just get you guys updated when it comes to my life. I will have everything linked down below, as well as my Instagram and my Patreon and all of that good stuff. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. I do post every single Tuesday and Thursday, and we are so close to 1 million. I feel like 2022 is gonna be the year. That is the goal, and I'm so excited. So thank you guys so much for joining me on my YouTube journey. This will be the last video before Christmas and all of that, so I want to say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas, and I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!